The Aegis drifted silently through the dark expanse of the uncharted asteroid belt, its hull dusted with tiny fragments of cosmic rock. Commander Alina Reyes stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the array of sensors and monitors that flickered under her command. The mission was straightforward: chart resources, test sensor arrays, and prepare the way for potential mining operations. But space had a way of surprising even the most prepared crews. Sensor readings stable, reported Lieutenant Chen, the science officer, his fingers dancing across the console. No unusual activity so far, just the usual electromagnetic noise from asteroid collisions. Alina nodded, though a faint unease settled in her chest. The Aegis sensors had been acting oddly since entering this sector, flickering for a moment here and there. Then, just seconds ago, there had been a brief blackout of failure of multiple sensor systems simultaneously. Engineering report, Alina called. What caused the sensor glitch? Preliminary diagnostics show no hardware failures, Commander. Came the calm voice of Chief Engineer Malik over the comlink. Looks like an external interference. It's possibly a local anomaly. Alina frowned. Keep me updated. As the Aegis continued its slow sweep through the belt, Lieutenant Chen's eyes suddenly widened. Commander, I'm detecting an unusual pulse coming from that massive asteroid ahead Sector 7G. The bridge crew turned their attention to the readings. The asteroid was larger than most nearby rocks, a jagged monolith tumbling slowly through space. But the sensors now showed something impossibly intermittent burst of electromagnetic pulses, spaced in a deliberate pattern. Pulse pattern. It looks rhythmic, Chen said, his voice tinged with disbelief. Almost like a signal. A signal. Alina echoed. She leaned forward, heart quickening. From an asteroid? Not just a random emission, Chen replied, fingers flying. This pattern is repeating like a wave, almost like a salute. There was a brief silence as the crew absorbed the implication. Space was full of strange phenomena, but an asteroid sending a deliberate signal. That was something else entirely. Could it be a natural phenomenon? Asked Navigator Ortiz skeptically. Highly unlikely, Chen answered. The pulse has mathematical regularity. It's artificial. Alina exchanged a glance with her executive officer, Captain Jamal Rivera. Both knew that their mission had just taken an unexpected turn. Prepare for close approach, Alina ordered. Let's get a better look. The Aegis adjusted its course, inching closer to the asteroid. The rhythmic pulses grew clearer, more defined. On the main display, the signal flashed repeatedly, each burst a precise code. Attempting to decode, Chen said. The signal seems to follow prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. It's a classic universal language pattern, often used in first contact scenarios. Elena's mind raced. If the asteroid was indeed trying to communicate, it could mean one of two things. Either a long-lost intelligence had left behind this sentinel, or something else was out there, signaling through this silent stone. Lieutenant, any readings on internal structure? Alina asked. Preliminary scans show unusual density concentrations inside, Chen replied. Possible embedded technology. Engineering, stand by for potential boarding, Alina said. We don't know what we're dealing with yet. Malik's voice came through steady. All systems green, Commander. Ready when you are. As the Aegis moved into orbit around the asteroid, an uneasy excitement filled the air. The crew gathered. Near the observation window, watching the massive stone slowly rotate. The rhythmic pulse continued unabated, as if the asteroid itself was reaching out across the void. Could it be a warning? Ortiz wondered aloud. Or a welcome, Chen said, eyes fixed on the displays. Alina breathed deeply and addressed the crew. We came here looking for rocks and resources. Instead, we may have found the first sign of intelligence beyond Earth in this sector. Whatever this is, we owe it our full attention and respect. The asteroid pulsed once more, as if acknowledging her words. Then, it saluted again, The rhythmic pulses from the asteroid echoed through the Aegis sensor arrays like a persistent heartbeat, steady and deliberate. Lieutenant Chen sat at his console, eyes glued to the scrolling streams of data. Every flash of light, every burst of electromagnetic energy was a piece of an intricate puzzle. "Commander," Chen called quietly, "I'm beginning to see a structure in the signal. It's more than just prime numbers. There's a pattern of repetition, interwoven with a secondary code. It's as if the asteroid is trying to teach us something." Alina leaned over his shoulder, watching the shifting graphs and symbols. The pulses had a rhythm that felt almost musical, a symphony of data hidden beneath the surface. "Musical?" Captain Rivera chuckled. "An asteroid sending us a song." "Perhaps," Chen replied, "or a language." The ship's AI, named Hermes, hummed softly. Signal analysis suggests a binary communication protocol, layered with redundancy. It is designed to ensure clarity over vast distances and interference. Alina rubbed her chin thoughtfully. Could this be a relic of an ancient civilization? A warning beacon, or a welcome message? "Either way," Chen said, "it's sophisticated, and it's intentionally masking itself as an asteroid." "Camouflage," Malik said from engineering, joining the discussion via comm. "Makes sense if it needed to survive undetected for millennia. Or if it wanted to surprise anyone who came near," Alina added. A small smile playing at her lips as Aegis maintained a cautious orbit. The crew worked in shifts to decode the pulses. The signals seemed to shift subtly depending on the ship's position, as though the asteroid was reacting to their presence. "Sensor arrays are fluctuating," Hermes reported. "The asteroid's electromagnetic field is dynamically interacting with our sensors." "Is it trying to communicate directly with us?" Alina asked. "Possibly," Hermes answered, "or testing our systems." At one point, the Aegis sensors briefly blacked out again. For a heartbeat, the crew felt the silence of space settle over them then. The asteroid emitted a longer, more complex pulse. Chen's fingers flew over the console. "This is new." The sequence is repeating, but with variations almost like a question. Captain Rivera nodded. "We need to respond." "Agreed," Alina said. "But how do we reply to a stone that sings?" Hermes spoke up. "I can generate a response pattern based on the prime number sequence it sent. It would be a universal gesture of recognition." "Do it," Alina said, without hesitation. Seconds later, a controlled burst of signals streamed from the Aegis, carefully timed to match the asteroid's rhythm. The crew held their breath. For several tense moments, nothing happened. Then, the asteroid pulsed again. This time, the pattern was unmistakably different. A new sequence, longer and more intricate. Chen's eyes sparkled with excitement. "It's responding. This is a dialogue." "An interstellar conversation," Malik said softly, "with a rock." Alina laughed, the tension breaking. Who would have thought? But the joy was tempered by caution. This was uncharted territory, and the unknown always held risks. "We need to learn more," she said firmly. "Prepare detailed scans and send Hermes to keep the conversation going." As the dialogue continued, the asteroid's pulses revealed information encoded in complex mathematical constructs, prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, and geometric patterns. "We're beginning to understand the basics of their language," Chen explained during a crew briefing. "It's not just communication, it's a teaching tool." "The asteroid is trying to share knowledge." Elena's eyes shone with determination. "We came here searching for resources. Instead, we found a message from the stars. This is bigger than any mineral or war." "But why the salute?" Ortiz asked. "What does it mean?" Chen shrugged. "In many cultures, a salute is a greeting and a sign of respect. Maybe it's the same here, a way of saying, 'You are welcome, traveler.' Or, Alina thought, a warning." The Aegis crew realized that this silent sentinel was no mere rock. It was a guardian of knowledge. a beacon in the dark, waiting for someone to listen. The Aegis held its position in orbit around the colossal asteroid, its once inert surface now a source of profound curiosity and wonder. The rhythmic pulses had evolved into something resembling a conversation, a subtle, deliberate exchange bridging the silent void between human and stone. Commander Alina Reyes stood at the bridge's observation window, gazing at the dark monolith tumbling slowly against the backdrop of distant stars. "Science team, what's the latest?" Alina asked, her voice steady but edged with anticipation. "Lieutenant?" Chen tapped his console, eyes scanning streams of sensor data. "Commander, initial scans indicate the asteroid's core is not hollow, as we first suspected. There are multiple dense regions with electromagnetic signatures that strongly suggest the presence of technology. A structure inside a rock." Captain Rivera raised an eyebrow. "How large are we talking?" "It's difficult to say precisely," Chen admitted. "But the sensors detect layered compartments, some as large as small rooms, others much smaller. The technology appears aged, but still operational." Alina turned toward the communications officer. "Can we establish a link?" Hermes, the ship's AI, responded smoothly. "Current signals from the asteroid's embedded systems are stable but encrypted. The asteroid's internal network is active, but access protocols are unfamiliar and complex." "Then we adapt," Alina said firmly. "Prepare an unmanned probe for surface insertion. We need a closer look." The Aegis hangar bay hummed with activity as the engineering team readied the seeker. A small, agile drone equipped with advanced scanning instruments and a reinforced hull. Chief Engineer Malik oversaw the operation, his calm voice contrasting the crew's excitement. Deploying the seeker in T-minus 5 minutes, Malik announced. "Let's see what secrets this rock holds." As the drone separated from the ship, it darted toward the asteroid's surface, its sensors immediately overwhelmed by electromagnetic interference. The seeker's cameras captured jagged craters, strange formations, and faintly glowing symbols etched into the asteroid's surface, alien glyphs pulsing with faint light, synchronized with the signal the Aegis had received. "Commander, the surface markings are repeating the pulse pattern," Chen observed. "It's a code, perhaps an invitation or a key." Hermes quickly ran pattern analyses. The glyphs correspond to mathematical sequences in the communication pulses. They may provide decryption data or navigation cues. The drone's scanners penetrated the asteroid's outer layers, revealing cavernous tunnels lined with crystalline structures. Inside, the drone's instruments detected faint energy fields and technological artifacts embedded in the rock, a complex network of circuits and processors, cold but still humming with power. Alina watched the data stream with a mix of awe and caution. "This isn't just a relic. It's a sentinel, a guardian left behind by a civilization we've never met." Back on the bridge, the crew debated their next steps. "We have no idea what kind of technology we're dealing with," Captain Rivera said. "It could be a defense system, a warning beacon, or something we can't even imagine. Or all of the above," Chen added. "We're lucky the asteroid didn't react aggressively when we approached." Alina nodded. "We proceed carefully. Attempt to interface with the asteroid systems. If this is a message, we need to understand it fully." Hermes initiated a cautious data exchange protocol, attempting to breach the asteroid's encryption. Without triggering defenses, suddenly the asteroid pulsed again, a bright, coordinated burst that shook the Aegis sensor arrays. "Signal spike detected," Hermes reported. "The asteroid is responding to our attempt." Chen's eyes widened. "It's a test. The asteroid is evaluating us." The crew exchanged nervous glances. They were no longer just explorers. They were participants in a silent dialogue with a machine that had outlasted its creators, watching and waiting for worthy allies. Elena's voice carried determination. We came seeking resources. We found something far greater. A connection. This asteroid is a sentinel, a witness to a forgotten past, and perhaps a guardian of the future. As the seeker continued to relay images and data from within the asteroid's depths, the crew prepared for what might come next. The next step in a conversation spanning stars and centuries. The asteroid, ancient and silent, no longer awaited. Their reply, the hum of the Aegis, was steady as it maintained orbit around the enigmatic asteroid. Below, the seeker drone continued its descent through narrow tunnels and cavernous chambers, mapping the alien interior with painstaking care. Commander? Alina Reyes stood at the command console, her mind racing with questions. What had once seemed like a simple rock had revealed itself as a complex sentinel. Alive in its own unique way, Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over his keyboard as he sifted through newly received data. Commander, I believe we've made a breakthrough. Alina turned sharply. Explain. The encrypted signals the asteroid is sending. They're more than greetings or codes. I'm beginning to see a layered message hidden beneath the surface communication. Captain Rivera stepped forward, interest piqued. What kind of message? Chen hesitated, then pressed a few keys. On the main screen, a series of geometric shapes and sequences flashed rapidly, mathematical constructs, fractal patterns, and star maps overlaid with data points. It's a warning, Chen said quietly. An encoded alert about a cosmic threat moving through this region. The bridge fell silent. Hermes, the AI, confirmed the analysis. The message references an entity or phenomenon described as the Devourer, a force of destruction that wiped out the civilization that built this sentinel. The asteroid's role was to monitor, warn, and prepare any future travelers. Elena's eyes narrowed, so the salute. It was a call for help. Exactly, Chen said. This wasn't a welcome. It was an invitation to heed a danger. Alina paced the bridge, her mind sharpening with purpose. How much time do we have before this threat reaches us? Hermes ran rapid calculations. Based on the data, the entity is several light years away, but moving swiftly. It will enter this sector within months, if not weeks. Captain Rivera clenched his jaw. We're not prepared for something like that. Not yet, Alina admitted. But we have the asteroid's knowledge and technology now. That's a start. The crew worked tirelessly, poring over the ancient data. The asteroid's warning included detailed scans of the destructive force, a swirling mass of energy and matter, capable of consuming stars and planets. The Sentinel's creators had fought a losing battle, sacrificing themselves to delay the entity's advance. Chun's voice broke the tension. There are protocols embedded in the message, defensive measures, technology blueprints, even suggested tactics. The asteroid was designed to help us prepare. Malik, listening in from engineering, whistled softly. This tech is beyond anything we've seen. If we can adapt it, Earth's defenses could be revolutionized. Elena's expression hardened. With resolve, then that's what we'll do. Humanity won't be caught unready. Over the following days, the Aegis transformed from an exploration vessel into a command center. The asteroid Sentinel's data streamed endlessly into their systems, revealing secrets of energy shields, sensor arrays, and weapons far advanced beyond human technology. The crew worked in shifts, learning, adapting, and integrating. Hermes coordinated with Earth Command, transmitting the vital intelligence. The coalition responded with urgencies, were mobilized. Research teams assembled, and preparations began for a fight humanity had only ever imagined. But even as the human fleet mobilized, questions lingered. What happened to the civilization that built this sentinel? Ortiz asked during a briefing. Chen looked grave. They were overwhelmed. They underestimated the threat, and despite their technology, they couldn't stop it. But their last act was to create this asteroid. This warning, Alina said. They left a beacon in the darkness, hoping someone else would answer the call. Captain Rivera nodded. Now that someone is us. On the Aegis, the crew felt the weight of history and hope entwined in their mission. The asteroid's pulses continued, no longer a simple salute, but a steady stream of data. Guidance and, perhaps, trust. Alina gazed at the star-filled void beyond the bridge window. We're not alone in this fight. Somewhere across time. We're standing alongside those who came before. The asteroid pulsed again, a silent oath between civilizations separated by millennia. United by a common enemy and a shared resolve. Humanity had been warned. Humanity would rise. The Aegis hummed with renewed energy. What began as a routine mission to chart resources had blossomed into a desperate race against time. The asteroid sentinel's warning echoed in the minds of every crew member, urging them forward. Humanity was no longer just observers in this distant belt, they were now guardians, tasked with facing a cosmic threat unlike any before. Commander Alina Reyes moved through the ship's corridors with purpose, stopping by the engineering bay where Chief Corna skis. Engineer Malik and his team were already at work. The alien technology harvested from the asteroid lay spread across tables, glowing softly with unfamiliar energy. Anything useful? Alina asked. Malik looked up, a spark of excitement in his eyes. More than useful. The asteroid systems contain power sources far beyond our current reactors. We're integrating them into the Aegis systems now. It's like plugging into a new dimension of energy. The engineers worked to reverse engineer the Sentinel's technology. The asteroid's shield matrices were particularly promising, a layered field of energy that could deflect impacts and electromagnetic pulses. Integrating this tech could give humanity a critical edge in the coming confrontation. Lieutenant Chen joined Alina, carrying fresh data streams from the AI Hermes. The message contained schematics for defensive systems and weapon enhancements. We're adapting them for human use, but the real breakthrough is in their sensor tech. Alina raised an eyebrow. How so? Chen smiled. The Sentinel's sensors are designed to detect threats across multiple spectrums: electromagnetic, gravitational, even quantum disturbances. If we combine this with our existing arrays, we'll be able to see the enemy long before they arrive. Captain. Rivera entered the room, hands clasped behind his back. That's good news. The Coalition's fleets are mobilizing, but we need every advantage. Alina nodded. The asteroid gave us a head start. Now, it's up to us to finish the work. The Aegis laboratories buzzed with activity. Scientists and engineers from Earth worked alongside the crew, decoding ancient alien blueprints and translating them into usable technology. It was a dance of human ingenuity and alien wisdom. We're not just copying their tech, Malik explained to Alina. We're adapting it, modifying it to fit human physiology and combat tactics. This isn't just preservation, it's evolution. Alina smiled. That's the human way. Meanwhile, Hermes coordinated the complex task of integrating alien and human systems. The AI's voice was calm, but filled with purpose. Signal. Synchronization complete. Energy output increased by 32%. Defensive field parameters stable. As the Aegis powered up its new capabilities, the crew felt a growing confidence. The asteroid Sentinel had handed them a lifeline, but it was human determination that would make it a weapon. During a strategic briefing, Alina addressed her crew. This asteroid didn't just salute us, it challenged us. It challenged humanity to rise to a test we never expected. Lieutenant Chen stepped forward. The technology we've acquired is unlike anything in the Coalition's arsenal. But more importantly, it's a similar reminder that intelligence and hope can survive, even in the darkest places. Captain Rivera added, we don't just fight with weapons, we fight with courage and creativity. The enemy may be powerful, but they haven't faced us. The room filled with determined nods dot outside the ship. The asteroid continued its slow orbit, its pulses now steady and strong. A beacon of warning and hope. The Aegis prepared to leave the belt soon, carrying with it the promise of new defenses and the weight of an impending battle. Alina stood on the observation deck, watching the monolith fade into the distance. "Thank you," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else, "for the warning, for the knowledge." The asteroid's signal pulsed back. A final salute of respect. Humanity had answered the call. The Aegis had left the asteroid belt behind. Its hull now fortified with alien technology and human ingenuity fused into a formidable whole. Yet, even as the crew celebrated their newfound advantages, a heavy silence settled over the ship. The warning from the Sentinel echoed in every mind. Something dark was coming. Something unlike anything humanity had faced. Commander Alina Reyes stood in the ship's war room, poring over star charts and sensor data with Lieutenant Chen and Captain Rivera. The display before them showed a vast, swirling mass moving through nearby star systems, cosmic storm of energy and matter, glowing with an eerie, unnatural light. "The Devourer," Chen murmured, tracing the edges of the approaching entity. "It's closer than we thought. We've underestimated its speed." Captain Rivera clenched his fists. "That means we have less time to prepare." Elena's gaze hardened. "We don't get a second chance. We need to coordinate with Coalition. Command and alert every outpost within reach." Hermes' calm voice broke the tension. "Long-range sensors are detecting disturbances ahead. Unknown objects are moving within the Devourer's mass. Fighters, scouts?" Malik asked as he entered the room. "Possibly," Elena replied. "Or fragments of the entity itself. Whatever they are, they're hostile." The crew's atmosphere shifted from hopeful anticipation to focused urgency. Defensive drills were intensified. Engineers worked around the clock to adapt alien shields and weaponry to the fleet's ships. Communications buzzed constantly as messages flew between coalition vessels and distant colonies. "We're preparing for a battle no one has fought before," Lena said during a ship-wide address. "The asteroid gave us warning, the technology to survive, but it's our courage and will that will determine the outcome." Despite the tension, the crew found moments of camaraderie. In the mess hall, Malik shared stories of how human civilizations had survived countless challenges. Chen spoke of the mystery and wonder in the Sentinel's message, reminding everyone that even in darkness, light could be found. Alina watched them, knowing that this unity was as vital as any shield or weapon. One evening, as the Aegis sailed through the cold void, Hermes alerted the bridge. "Unidentified object detected on long-range scanners. Object is approaching at high velocity." "Status?" Alina asked, rising from her chair. "Unknown origin. No communication signals detected." The crew tensed as the object grew larger. On the view screen, a jagged, shimmering shard of material unlike anything seen before. "It's a scout," Chen said grimly. "Sent ahead by the Devourer." The shard pulsed with dark energy, radiating a hostile presence. Captain Rivera ordered the ship into defensive posture. "Ready weapons. Prepare to engage." The shard darted closer, weaving through sensor sweeps with uncanny speed. It emitted bursts of interference, jamming communications and scrambling targeting systems. "Evasive maneuvers," Elena commanded. "Focus fire on the core energy source." The battle was brief but intense. The Aegis hybrid weapons struck the shard, causing it to fracture and dissipate into a cloud of dark particles. Threat neutralized. Hermes reported, though the crew knew it was only the first. After the encounter, Alina gathered her officers. "This is what we're up against," she said. "The Devourer sends its scouts to weaken us before the storm arrives. Lieutenant Chen nodded. We need to improve our sensors and tactics. The Sentinel's warning is just the beginning. Rivera's voice was firm. And when the Devourer comes, we'll be ready. We have the technology, the knowledge, and the will. Alina looked out the viewport at the endless stars. The darkness is coming. But humanity will stand as a beacon. The Sentinel saluted us, and now it's our turn to answer. The vast emptiness of space seemed heavier now, as if the stars themselves dimmed under the looming threat. The Aegis and the Coalition fleet had moved closer to the predicted trajectory of the Devourer. A colossal mass of energy and destruction slowly creeping through the void. For weeks, the crew had lived in a state of tense anticipation, preparing their weapons, calibrating shields, and running endless simulations. But now, the moment was almost upon them. Commander Elena Reyes stood at the helm, watching the dark shapes flicker across the sensor arrays. Any sign of movement? Lieutenant Chen shook his head, eyes focused. It's still far, but our sensors are picking up irregularities, fragments of debris and energy pulses ahead. The Devourer is breaking apart, sending tendrils to scout and consume. Captain Rivera's voice was steady, but there was steel beneath it. These tendrils won't stop until they find something to destroy. We have to hold the line. Hermes spoke up. Enemy energy signatures are increasing. Defensive measures should be prepared immediately. Alina took a deep breath. All hands, prepare for contact. This isn't just a battle-late survival. The first wave came unexpectedly. Shadowy fragments surged toward the fleet like a swarm of dark comets, their edges flickering with chaotic energy. The Aegis sensors blared alarms as the Coalition ships raised shields and unleashed a barrage of fire. The battlefield was a maelstrom of light and darkness. Energy beams slicing through the void while the Devourer's tendrils writhed and struck back. The alien technology integrated into the fleet's defenses held, absorbing blows that would have shattered earlier ships, but the Devourer adapted quickly. Shifting tactics and overwhelming isolated vessels, Elena's voice was calm but commanding. Focus fire on the tendril clusters. Protect the support ships. Lieutenant Chen coordinated targeting systems. We're holding, but energy spikes indicate the Devourer is preparing a larger attack. Captain Rivera scanned the horizon. It's testing us, probing for weaknesses. As the battle raged, the Aegis sustained damage but remained operational. The crew fought with unyielding resolve. Their trust in the alien technology and each other strengthening with every engagement. In the midst of chaos, Malik reported from engineering. Power fluctuations are stabilizing. We're pushing the new energy matrix to its limits. Elena nodded. Keep it steady. We'll need every ounce of power for the next wave. Suddenly, a massive pulse rippled through space. The Devourer's core sending out a shockwave meant to cripple the fleet systems. Alarms screamed as shields faltered and communications sputtered. Hermes worked frantically, recalibrating shields, redirecting power to critical systems. Alina steadied herself. Hold the line. We survive this. The shockwave passed, leaving silence in its wake. Slowly, systems rebooted and the fleet regrouped. Captain Rivera exhaled. That was close. Too close. As the Devourer's tendrils began to retreat, a new transmission came through encrypted, ancient and unmistakably from the asteroid Sentinel. Hermes decrypted the message. It contains coordinates unknown system, a potential refuge or countermeasure left by the Sentinel's creators. Elena's eyes widened. We may have a chance yet. The fleet set course for the coordinates, hope flickering amid the wreckage and weariness. Elena addressed her crew. The Sentinel warned us of darkness and gave us tools to fight it. Now, it offers us a path forward. We will follow it because humanity refuses to be consumed. As the stars shifted outside the viewport, the crew braced for what lay ahead. The battle was far from over, but united and armed with ancient wisdom and human tenacity. They would face the Devourer and prove that even in the darkest reaches of space, light could endure. The Aegis led the battered coalition fleet through the silent void toward the mysterious coordinates provided by the asteroid sentinel. The stars outside seemed colder, the weight of countless unknown dangers pressing on every soul aboard. Yet, hope burned fiercely within the hearts of the crew. They were no longer alone in this fight. Commander Alina Reyes stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the starfield ahead. "What do we know about the destination, Hermes?" "The system appears uninhabited," the AI responded. "But sensor readings indicate extensive artificial structures hidden beneath the planet's surface." Lieutenant Chun's voice was steady, but curious. Could it be a refuge, a weapons cache, something to turn the tide? Captain Rivera joined them, eyes narrowing. Whatever it is, it was left for us for this moment. As the fleet approached, the planet's surface came into view. Rocky world scarred by ancient forces, its atmosphere thin but breathable. Scans revealed vast underground complexes humming with dormant power. Malik smiled from engineering. "This place is a fortress. We're about to awaken technology older than anything in the coalition." The Aegis deployed drones into the tunnels below, sending back images of vast chambers filled with crystalline generators, energy conduits, and weapon systems unlike anything human science had produced. Alina nodded. "This is our chance." The crew worked tirelessly to reactivate the ancient defenses. Alien energy flowed through newly restored conduits, resonating with the hybrid systems adapted from the asteroid sentinel. The planet itself seemed to pulse with life, a sleeping giant roused by the promise of salvation. Hermes monitored the integration. Energy shields reaching full capacity. Weapons systems online and ready. Days passed in a blur of activity, the fleet taking refuge beneath the planet's protective embrace. But beyond their sanctuary, the Devourer advanced relentlessly, tendrils probing and testing. Then, the final battle began. The Devourer's massive form emerged from the darkness's swirling tempest of raw energy and destruction. Its tendrils lashed out, striking at the fleet's shields and tearing through space with malevolent intent. Elena's voice rang clear over the comms. "All units, focus fire on the core. Use every weapon, every shield, every ounce of power we have." The coalition fleet surged, coordinated and fierce. The alien technology fused with human innovation, formed a barrier of light and energy that met the Devourer's darkness. The battle shook the heavens. Pulses of light clashed with waves of shadow. The ancient defenses of the hidden planet flared to life, channeling energy that cut through the Devourer's tendrils. Amid the chaos, the Aegis closed in on the Devourer's core, firing a concentrated beam of energy harvested from the Sentinel's power sources. The beam struck true, searing through the entity's heart. The Devourer writhed, its form destabilizing. Energy pulses faltered, tendrils collapsed, and a slow unraveling began. With a final echoing roar, the Devourer dissipated scattered particles of darkness, swallowed by the light. Silence fell. The crew aboard the Aegis and the fleet breathed as one, relief washing over them. Alina exhaled deeply. "It's over." Captain Rivera smiled grimly. "Not just survival victory." Lieutenant Chen glanced at the sensor readouts. "The Sentinel's warning saved us. The knowledge it left. It was the key." Malik grinned. "And humanity's determination was the lock we turned." As the fleet regrouped and the hidden planet's defenses powered down, Alina stood at the observation window, gazing out at the stars. The asteroid had saluted them long ago, a silent call across the void. Humanity had answered, not just with weapons and technology, but with courage, unity, and hope. The Sentinel's legacy was now humanity's to carry forward. Guardians of the future, protectors of light in the endless dark.